Today we're going to talk through the Raptor contactless kiosk student sign out by parent workflow. This comes into play when a parent is coming by to a location, a building to pick up a student, and we want to make sure that the right parent is picking up the correct student, as well as being an approved person to pick up the student. So we're going to start with taking a look at the student in particular here. Looking at this student record, we can go ahead and look at the details. And this is where we're going to see the individual guardians that are able to pick up a student based upon information from the student information system or uploaded into Raptor. Now, this again allows for an individual to pick up a student by having their name listed here. And in order for you to use the kiosk to sign out a student, you must first have authenticated by a workflow at the front desk for signing out a student before you can use the kiosk. So one way to kind of look at that is if you look at the details on a particular guardian, if you do see a photo and you see that this information has been filled in, the ID number and ID type, that lets you know that this has been an official guardian sign out at the front desk, or what Raptor affectionately calls operator assisted, so that you can rest assured that this individual that is listed as a guardian is the correct guardian able to pick up a student in a subsequent workflow at the kiosk. Going back to again the student record and taking a look at another individual, if we do not see a photo here and we do not see any information, then that means that that individual has not authenticated through the front desk, through the operator assisted signing out of a student, which would then not allow that person to use the kiosk to sign out that individual. Okay? So again, we might have multiple guardians listed, but not every guardian will be approved to sign out the individual at the kiosk unless they've gone through the front desk first. Okay? And again, that process at the front desk would be going into the sign out, sign in screen, choosing sign out a student, typing in the student's name, and then having their ID scanned for the first time based upon signing that individual out to that guardian. Now, what we want to take a look at is at the kiosk itself, how does that come into play when a guardian now has been approved by the front desk to sign out a student, and how are they now able to use the kiosk in which to do so? So if we bring up the kiosk mode here for the school, we're going to go ahead and you'll notice that we are being prompted to scan your ID, okay? And you do have the ability to say, I don't have an ID, okay, which would then allow that particular individual to type in their name. Okay, we do have a student button over here, but that is not to be used for signing out a student by a guardian, because that is for a student workflow where the student might have the ability to sign themselves out or sign a student in, again, signing in tardy, late to regular start of school day. But for a general guardian picking up a student, they should be using the scan, the barcode reader that's at the kiosk workstation. And I'm just going to demonstrate that by I have a barcode that's set up for a student, for a guardian, an approved guardian that was already signed out at the front desk. So when I scan their barcode, you'll see they have an option. Are they visiting or are they picking up a student? Very similar to the legacy workflow. But again, instead of selecting it first, it's automated based upon that person's profile. So we're going to go say pick up a student. They are designated here and being welcomed by their first name. They now are shown a selection of students that they are authorized to sign out. We're going to go ahead and choose Jacob. Now by selecting next, we are selecting why is Jacob being signed out, and we can say that we're going to the, we have an appointment, so we'll select appointment, and now that record has been indicated that Richard has picked up Jacob, and that information then would be stored for reporting purposes. If we go ahead and get back to the student module, and just to take a look at that particular student, and pulling up Jacob, and going into the details of Jacob, we will see here in the activity history that Jacob was signed out. There is the ability to add additional columns by saying who is the guardian that picked up, and you can see that Richard Abbott was the guardian that picked up Jacob Abbott. So again, that's the workflow from looking at the data, who's available to pick up a student, and then knowing the difference between a already approved guardian through a first-time sign out by the front desk through the operator assisted, the sign in, sign out mode. Once that information has been validated, then a guardian returning to the school would be able to use the kiosk by scanning their ID by the barcode reader that will associate them to options for them to either visit, or if they are approved, they can sign out a student, pick up a student, and then they will be able to proceed with choosing their student and selecting sign out for that student, which will then be displayed from a reporting standpoint. And thank you very much for your time. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to your customer success manager.